Hello, my name is Kendall Core, and this is my comprehensive exam number 2. For my presentation, I will be discussing 3 different courses that I've taken over my 4 years here at ASU, and how they've changed my perspective on the concentration public relations. The first class that I'll be discussing is case studies, which is our course that we're in right now. The 3 core concepts that I chose that really helped influence my public relations perspective would be the description of the class, which is using the ropes model basically to examine each case that comes with public relations. It breaks it down into research, objectives, programming, evaluation, and stewardship. And using each of those phases, that's basically how you create your campaign or create any problems that you face with public relations, and it really goes into depth breaking it down. Next is analyzing case studies and problems, which I just spoke about. Several public relations practices are examined, and using the ropes model, for me, it really helped learning how to use this model more into depth, and just teaches me how to examine the case. Another core concept that goes with case studies class that I found was very helpful is just the course objectives that come with the class. Developing and understanding the current strategic communication, showing understanding of ethical and professional approaches to public relations problems, being able to analyze and critique and apply public relations strategies and tactics for individual stakeholders. I just found it really helpful using the ropes model. Having a SWOT analysis was another big core concept, and also learning that I need to put my SWOT analysis in the beginning of my ropes model, because that will kind of shift what I need to improve on with the whole ropes model, what we can work on and also use to help us with our campaign as well. And also the stewardship phase of the ropes model was a nice method too that I learned was helpful. The next course that I found was very helpful that I've taken in public relations was public relation campaigns class. The description of the class basically experience the depth of the strategic problem-solving process in public relations professional practice. Students will analyze complex public relation problems and opportunities, create a comprehensive campaign plan for their assigned client. And the core concepts that I got out of this class that were very helpful to me was basically picking a client that we worked with all semester long and breaking down each part of the ropes model with our client and presenting each phase of the ropes model to the class and getting critiqued by our professor, Dr. Bird, and just using that all semester long to make our final campaign. And this was very helpful to me because it breaks down each part of the ropes model and really helps us put together a nice campaign. Some of the course objectives are develop and understanding appropriate business etiquette, common social practices and components of ethical behavior within the PR practice, integrate refined business writing techniques into the campaign proposal writing process. Having a client all semester long, it really made it more realistic for when we do go out and get a job, because we are working hands-on with them and really trying to enhance their business, and I found that really helpful with my public relations process here. And for the third class that I found was very helpful with forming my description of public relations here is Mass Media and Society course that I take. And the course description is basically explaining and describing how the United States media and media support industries relate to salient national issues and pressing topics. Also, they will become familiar with concepts and issues in media audience that affects studies and be able to develop a clearer understanding of these issues appropriate with theories such as agenda setting, social comparison theory, cultural criticism, and also transformation. This class was very helpful for me because it gave us a more in-depth look of how the media is formed and what real news is, what fake news is, and how public relations has to play a part in that also. The course objectives for Mass Media and Society were to understand the issues related to mass media and their multiple social effects on different audiences, understand the role of mass media in the United States, understand issues relating to managing media effects on ourselves and our work, Some of the methods that come with this class that I enjoyed was personal ethics and research. For the personal ethics, you always have to make sure you're making the right decision, not only for yourself but for a whole, like as a whole. Um, since mass media since media is so like a large audience, we always have to make sure as public relation practitioners that we are making the best decision for the most amount of people, not just one or two people. And also for the research part, I found that is big and critical in public relations. You always have to do research in order to have data, in order to basically fix any problem, because you need to know what you're supposed to be fixing. Next, I'll be addressing a problem slash opportunity that I've experienced in working at Champ Sporting Goods. Our problem is that there's lack of security, which leads to theft. Our theft and missing merchandise is through the roof, and that is really unacceptable, especially for being in one of the nicer parts of Montgomery and East Chase Mall. They do not take security seriously out there. That's why people come back over and over every weekend and continue to steal. So the solution that I created to fix that problem would be to create a smaller device that you insert into the products in your clothing, the shoes, any merchandise in the store, as well as a new door device that can track it and will lock the door if the sensor is identified when you're walking out of the door. For my SWOT analysis, I stated that for some of the strengths, it would be better sensors with ink, not visible to the customer, so that way they don't really know that it's in the clothing. Doors will lock and track the suspect, which once you're leaving the store with the merchandise, if that chip is still inserted in the clothing or merchandise, the doors will automatically lock, which will stop the thieves. Some of the weaknesses would be defective devices, meaning that some of them may lose ink and will not work once you walk out of the door. You can't get the device in the product. Lack of funds to create the device. Opportunities would be cut down on the thieves. Creation of new device. That would be an opportunity for the whole company as a whole, because Foot Locker does own Champs. So they would have this for Foot Locker, Champs, Lady Foot Locker, Kids Foot Locker, etc. Threats would be that the device doesn't work. Thieves figure out how to disable the device, which is common with how they steal now. Stores don't want the risk to fail, and they don't want to use it. After many research and by working there, I found that some of the sensors that are put in clothes do not work due to lack of ink in them. So this device would be very sufficient, knowing that there's a new security, there's new ink that they are using for this merchandise, and that I think by locking the doors right as it hits the sensor, that will stop a lot of the crime, because then we as employees will have to go check the customer's bags, if it's in their clothing, which a lot of times it is, and I think that will cut down on a lot of the problems that we have at Champs.